Welcome to We Should Start a Podcast, the only podcast within a podcast. Each week we'll attempt to create the next hit audio show as we pitch our brightest ideas for pods about anything and everything. But more often than not, pretty much nothing. I am your host, Pod Master and Commander Dino. And joining me, as always, are my good friends, Podmaster Chief Danders and Davey Hogan is here too. Let's get into it.
We should start a podcast.
Get the job, Miriam, get the job.
Don't make us sleep.
Get the job. Get the job.
Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast, the only podcast with a ChatGPT rating of 7 out of 10. Wow! What a podcast.
We haven't had to get the dog in a while. I was excited to hear
No,
that again.
I know.
Do you know we had that since our first episode? I re-listened the other day, and it was all
Really?
the way
That
back
was
to
how?
our genesis. Yeah.
Well, if you look at the soundboard, there might be a few new sounds that we're trying out.
I can't wait to hear what cuck is. I've been waiting for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What are you doing, you fucking cuck? Oh god. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I approve of that one. I approve.
Couldn't have set that one up any better, Danders.
Same tone of voice. Same guy. Same cuck.
Well, guys, I am your host for today, Dino, and the reason we're trying out some new sounds here is because technically, this is the first episode of the new year. We're podcasting way in the future. Dave, tell us, are you still bringing up the rear in 2026?
Very much bringing it up the rear.
Bringing it up the rear. That's not the phrase.
Bring it up. Just bring it up.
I had never heard that phrase before this podcast, bringing up the rear, honestly.
Have you since Googled it and figured out what it means?
Not even.
That sounds about right. And of course, Danders is here too.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Yes, Happy New Year. How does
Yeah.
it feel to podcast in 2026? Pretty futuristic,
very
I'd imagine.
Futuristic. Yeah. Yeah, we've already done a fair share of time traveling today on our double record. But
Yes.
so yeah, no, I'm excited for 26. I'll put it that way. I was excited for 25, and it had a few curveballs for me. I'm very excited for 26. I feel like this is
good to
my
hear.
year. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that too, Danders.
Thank
I think
you,
it's
sir.
our year.
Yeah, it's our year. Yeah.
And how are you doing, boys? I know on our last episode that we recorded today, it was very much themed, so we didn't really get into the how are yous, our feelings, our deepest fears and regrets. How are you guys?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, since we are recording into the future and we are in 2026, my left hand is feeling a little heavier after the ongoings over Christmas, for which both of you were involved in.
What?
I'm sorry. I thought you
Like,
meant you were going to be
jack off with your
masturbating
left hand?
loads.
Yeah. Which we were involved in? What?
I like the brilliant thing about it is it's the exact opposite. What he means is that his wedding band is going to be on his hand, so it's going to be heavier.
Exactly,
So
yeah,
he's
it's a little heavier.
So it's going to be so much harder to whack.
Stronger because he's jacking up all the time. That's so funny, man. Oh,
Yeah,
bless.
congratulations, I suppose, Dave.
Congratulations.
You
on,
suppose. Why do you suppose? I guess.
Because it hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Danders objected at the altar.
I did, yeah, like Shrek. I ran in there when I object right at the end. Yeah.
He did.
They still got married anyway.
Not because he's in love with you, but because he thinks you should be married to the podcasting game.
Yeah,
You should be putting all your effort into
Yeah.
we should start a podcast.
Yeah. Podcast is number one.
And Danders, you said it's been a tough year, but you're on the up and up. You seem like you're doing well. You're,
Oh yes.
You're chipper.
Oh yes, I'm on that ladder, climbing up. No, I'm great. Like things going well at work. We're in
You
the
look
wind
good.
down. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Did you get a haircut?
I did.
That's a
throwback.
callback.
That's a throwback.
That's a callback.
We're bringing it back, baby. 26. We're bringing it Every week is haircut week. I did get a haircut a couple of I think just at the start of this week. Yeah. So I
Nice.
love having had a haircut for the first 10 days. You feel like a G. So yeah.
Very good, very good. And like we said, it's now 2026, so no better time than the present for a quick beef check-in. Guys, tell me, are Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney still huge pieces of shit?
Where it is, they crashed and burned right around New Year's 2025.
Yeah.
Something about I don't know, the ghost of Podmus blowing him up or something like that. I didn't hear the details.
I heard about that. Yeah. No one knew ghosts actually existed until then, except for your mum. Actually,
she was sure of it. Now the whole world is sure of it. Yeah. We live in a different world now.
We do live in a different world. It's 2026. I believe there's like flying cars at this stage.
Yeah,
this is like what, a couple months in the future.
Trump is president of the world.
Yeah. What's his name? Fucking the goober himself, Elon Musk. By that stage, might be the world's first trillionaire. I've heard.
Oh, is that right?
Is he not
That's
already?
No, he's not already.
Oh.
I think Tesla has some deal with him where they're giving him the opportunity to get more stake in the company. He has to hit certain milestones, so maybe it's not till the end of 2026.
Right.
But if that happens and he gets that stake in Tesla, he becomes the world's first trillionaire, which is just an unfathomable amount of money.
Yeah, well, 1,000 billions, like that's
crazy,
insane,
yeah,
absolutely insane. But like, I mean, even when we were kids, the idea of being a millionaire, it still is, hugely stratospheric. But like, millionaire in terms of when you're speaking about like, high pop stars and celebrities and stuff. A milli is like pedestrian these days. You know what I mean? It's like, now to be fair, like we have all lived through a considerable amount of like inflation and stuff over the past few years. So like it is a moving target, but a trill though, I mean, no one has ever conceived of that number before. You know what I mean?
No one needs that amount of money.
No.
No.
That's legit. And I think there's only
it's disgusting.
Like a small amount of trillions in terms of like global wealth of everyone pulled together. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stat where if he has over $1 trillion, he's worth more than like some huge percentage of just the countries of the entire world.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess when he's gotten this far as well, like, I mean, it's not a matter of whether he needs it or not. If he's gotten this far, I mean, it's kind of a sweet goal to aim towards. If he can grasp it, do you know what I mean? Like, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't.
Dave
Of course, he
loves
doesn't.
billionaires.
Of course, he doesn't need that money.
Trillionaires.
But I mean, if you're that close, would you not like take that
you
extra
would.
leap
It's
to
a goal.
see if
It's
you
a
can
goal
do
like
it?
any other, definitely. I just this afternoon saw Neil deGrasse Tyson speaking on how we would never, ever go to Mars because there isn't like a geopolitical reason for us to. And then he was talking about how, well, obviously, like, he said people never spend huge amounts of money on vanity projects like they used to in like bygone centuries. People would erect these enormous like statues and whatever, churches, buildings in the names of either God or royalty, and no one's ever going to do that anymore because there isn't a business case. But like, I think Elon Musk, the first potential trillionaire in the world, who has a chip on his shoulder, do you know what I mean? Like, and is big into vanity projects. Like, why wouldn't he just absolutely blow everything on getting to Mars with not much return? Do you know, that's the kind of like disruptor guy that he is. I don't at all see that as a restriction. Do you know what I mean? I think it's entirely like.
And then build a statue on Mars of a big Elon Musk statue. We can pay him off for a big WSSAP statue on Mars.
Yeah, we become gods in the next life.
In 2026, we're set to make hundreds of dollars. There's lemonade stands that make more than our podcast, which is making currently $0. In fact, we're losing money on this. But that's all set to change in 2026 because we are going to find a hit podcast idea, which is the whole general concept of the show. We're trying to find a hit podcast idea. We're trying to go number one on the charts, but to date, we haven't found that hit idea. So this show is a sort of placeholder where we're pitching our ideas with the hopes of striking gold. We've had some bangers, but we still haven't found the right show. So we continue to pitch and pod, which I think is fair to say as usual, guys. Is that right?
Yeah. We've come close.
Correctly, yeah.
You're on the money there. We've come close. We've had some ones that we really enjoyed, but nothing I think that we kind of want to sink our teeth into and say, this is our pod, this is what we're doing going forward. So hopefully today we find that.
Yes.
It hasn't felt like us yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hasn't had the flair that the listeners know that we have
Yeah,
within us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dave, but you said you're having a flare up at the moment, right? And with that, we are now ready to hear from our Podmaster of the Week. And go easy on him, guys, because he is having a bit of a flare up. He's a bit fragile. And his name is Davey Hogan. And before Davey Hogan pitches, I'll remind everyone how this works. Dave will be pitching his latest podcast idea and taking us through a complete trial episode. Following the podcast within a podcast, colloquially known as a podception, we will collectively critique Hogan's show based on a classic podcast rating system. But before he pitches, I am legally obligated to remind all the podgoblins out there that what's up? Never do any research as to what these podcast ideas exist in the real world. So by accessing the content of this podcast, including information presented, opinions expressed, and creative elements, you hereby forfeiting rights to any intellectual property you may already hold in relation to your podcast. And we have been in contact with all the best 2026 lawyers, so we are sure that our disclaimer is still very legally sound and still very real. With that in mind, Dave, please introduce us to your latest podcast idea. What you have for us today?
Yes, sir. My podcast for today is called Now. That's what I call podcasting.
Wow.
Big flashbang. Danders. What are we thinking this podcast is about?
Now, that's what I call podcasting. Are we kind of commenting on like the best parts of podcasting and how like that's something to emulate maybe going forward for like a formula for hitting it good?
Nope. Dino,
Mm.
what are we thinking?
I'm thinking maybe this is a callback to the wrong podcast. It's wrong answers only. And the question is things that people say while listening to We Should Start a Podcast.
Closer, but unfortunately, no cigar today, boys. We're just going to have to jump in and see what's cracking. Just going to jump in and see what's up.
Yes.
And I'll bleep it out, but Dave Hogan, I used his real name because he doesn't mind, did a little real name drop of Danders over there, which reminded me that Danders, I wasn't even the one to notice this. Violet pointed it out, that you did a last name drop in your last podcast.
Did I? What was the last one? And who was it? My last name?
You were talking about Spink Classic Ghost Stories.
Oh.
So something to keep in mind going forward. But
Yeah.
they'll never be able to catch you. You're too fast.
I'm a
Yeah, sorry.
ghost.
It's your name. It's your name that's on the screen in front of me that keeps throwing me Danders. Sorry. But I will always pause and I will always allow for editing out.
It feels like a weird conversational touch point right now. I don't really care, like, to be honest. Like, it's okay.
I don't know. We're a year and a half in. It sounds
International
like you care.
bank robber.
Yeah.
Anyways, today, guys, we are diving into the world of Now. That's what I call podcasting.
Welcome to Now That's What I Call Podcasting, your one-way ticket to a journey through the albums that shaped decades during the cassette tape and CD eras. Each episode we're diving into a different Now compilation. The track list, the vibes, the fashion, the drama, anything we can dig up, you'll find it here. We're kind of like musical archaeologists, but instead of digging up dinosaur bones and fossils, it's mostly just Pitbull and Teo Cruz.
Dale.
Dale.
This week, we're looking at Now 75, released in March 2010. This was a time when skinny jeans were on the brink of becoming fashionable again. BlackBerry was clinging on to what was left of its user base as iPhones were stampeding into the hands of teenagers. The waft of Lynx Africa made the nightclubs feel like home. And waking up feeling like P. Diddy was cool, hip, and wouldn't get you cancelled.
Wait, did something happen with P. Diddy?
So I'm gonna break the fourth wall a small bit here. How familiar are you guys with the Now compilation albums when you guys were growing up?
I'm super familiar with Now. My dad never missed a Now up until whatever point. But I mean, I'm remembering the 40s. So like, I think they started getting real quick with them.
Whoa.
Like, I think they used to do one a year way back, but then like they started
Yeah.
doing a couple a year, and then so every year we had the latest Now, and it was great. Like for literally you brush up on all the latest chart hits, and it was always a banger. So it's a big part of my childhood.
Sure.
So they're named numerically in sequence, so
Yeah.
like 1, 2. It's not like now 40 isn't like from music from the
1940.
40s.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
this one isn't from 1975. This is this.
All of our favorite
Yeah.
hits from 1975.
Yeah.
I'm less familiar with it, to be honest. I think we touched on this a little bit in the Millennial Jackass podcast. Actually, the Millennial Jackass podcast that wasn't aired, one of our trial ones, instead of doing movies, we did music. And I talked about how the Now series of albums didn't exist in North America. As far as I'm aware, it's a very British-Irish thing, or at least European. There was some
You had
equivalent
a different
in,
one, yeah. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think the one for pop rock and pop punk was Big Shiny Tunes, and that's
Yeah.
the one that I listened to a lot. So Big Shiny Tunes 6 was one of my favorites that had like what did it have? Sum 41, Fat Lip. It had All the Small Things. It had like some Puddle of Mud, some American Hi-Fi.
That was a great
Flavor of
era.
the Week.
Great era.
But
But like classically, we would call it now the number. So it would be like now
Yeah.
75.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be now. That's what I call
Okay.
podcasting 75. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
what about now 6, 7?
I don't get it, I'm afraid.
I barely get it. Apparently, it's this thing these kids are doing.
You're very hip with the kids.
It came from a rap song, and then basketballers started doing it, and now kids are doing it as a fashionable thing.
Right.
And it's kind of like shit that we used to say when we were younger. It just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Like, WSSAP was like our equivalent to 6, 7.
That's a fair cop on your part there, Dave, because like I give him a hard time for like collectively all deciding to start using Ohio and Skibbity, even though like it didn't really have any bearing. But I mean, we did we didn't have we did have the internet, but we didn't have that kind of same level of like catching fire trend, you know. But we did definitely collectively all decide to do shit that didn't make sense and think it was brilliant. You know what I mean?
We called each other gay a lot. That was a thing.
Didn't make any sense. No. Yeah.
Bring us back to
Yeah, I'm still
1975. That's the
seems
good
to be
old
coming
days.
back. That seems to be coming back apparently, and I've kind of seen it. I've seen
1975.
No, calling
people
people
gay.
gay again. Yeah,
Oh.
it's
The
coming
millennials
back.
are putting their stamp on the world. They're like, right, we're not out of here yet. We're gonna tell you what we enjoyed. Still calling people
We're
gay.
revolting. We're revolting. But
Hilarious.
to your point, I'm pretty sure I don't know the history of it in its entirety, but there is a US version of the Now series. Don't know what number they're at. I don't know if they started the same as the UK one. But anyway, it was like a US equivalent. I'd imagine it was a lot like it's probably the same shit now because music is so international.
So ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, it was a good time. 2010, I was 16, so I was in 5th year of secondary school. I'm assuming you boys were the same.
We
Fifth
would have been the
year,
year above.
yes.
I would have said we were 17 in our final year.
Maybe. I don't know. All I remember is that 2010 was a sensational year for music.
It was unreal.
So
great
well done
time,
picking
great
that one,
era.
Dave.
Great time to be alive, like when it came to music. You know,
Right.
it just felt like such a fun, like everyone just felt like they were ready to get on a vibe together. Do you know what I mean? It was just a really, really fun time of music, I felt, you know.
Sure. Anything else you remember from that year in terms of like fashion, drama, anything big happen around then? That era?
2010.
That was the year I wore my pirate boots.
You wore Denver's more pirate boots for a year.
and a paddy cap.
This is year of the summer I turned pretty.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
year I wore pirate boots.
Yeah, man, I remember Spin Southwest was the radio show we had. I used to play on the bus on the way to school every day, but it was like pure popcorn music, so it was like top 10 hits every morning and you'd hear the
Yeah,
same shit for
same
like
hits,
weeks
yeah.
on end.
Yeah.
So like these songs were like just ingrained in your morning transit and your evening transit coming home. Because I was a bit away from school, so I was on a bus for like 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So
This could be completely wrong, but I kind of feel that for the groups that I was rolling in, 2010 was kind of the year when everyone collectively decided that we were all into music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was such
sure.
a buzz around the songs that were coming
Yeah.
out that like music became the big thing that was cool, even though people have been listening to music forever, right? Everyone listens to music. But I felt like there was such a buzz around
It
the stuff that was
trended,
coming
kind
out
of,
at that
yeah.
stage. It became trendy.
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of it became cool to be interested in music and be
Mm-hmm.
even making music. You see a lot of like bands
Mhm.
coming out of transition year and shit like that in fourth year of secondary school. Like,
It influenced people a lot, hence the pirate boots.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a direct JLS influence.
yeah. But that's like interesting. I would love to see kind of what fashion was popping in 2010. I'm sure it would ring my my bells, but I can't think off the top of my head. But I would love to
It
mull on
definitely
that for a
wasn't pirate boots. I know. I can tell you that.
yeah.
No matter
I
what
was a
way you
maverick.
spin it.
We called them pirate boots, but they were kind of in fashion amongst a certain style group, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're talking like pirate boots, patty cap, maybe like a very low V cardigan, like a very colorful cardigan, skinny jeans, you
Yeah.
know.
Cardigans were. I don't think skinny jeans were about to come into fashion, because remember that was when
Okay.
I was going into college. So this was fifth year. So it was maybe a year or two before that. So
I think
yeah,
cardigans
I
is a
think
good shout. I think-
cardigans,
yeah,
cardigans,
yeah.
kind of snapbacks were around. I guess kind of long-ish hair, like emo-ish kind of hair was maybe that was the vibe that I
Yeah.
was surrounded by. But yeah, okay, let's talk track list. Right, let's talk track list. So now CD1, the vibe was always kind of different from the second disc. It was typically the more mainstream, happy radio play type songs, but always like massive chart toppers. And with that being said, CD1 came out the gate pretty strong with Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. That was a
Lady Gaga.
pretty huge song, and I think she was proper breakout at that stage. She was like
She
on
was
top of it.
everything at that time.
Yeah,
she was the biggest thing in the world at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I always found interesting about Lady Gaga is before she became the Lady Gaga that we knew at that point, she had been writing songs for other artists like Jennifer
yeah.
Lopez. She wrote Hypnotico for Jennifer Lopez.
She was
Quicksand.
doing Derulo on it.
Yeah,
And also, like people who were really big stands of hers would say that she was an incredibly well classically trained like pianist and whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's not typically how you would think of her, because she has like very very highly produced kind of pop songs, but she was a fantastic classical musician apparently.
yeah.
And apparently also really annoying.
Yeah.
She was one of these people apparently who just wanted to be famous really bad from a young age, but obviously incredibly talented. So like kind of acted famous.
Like a
and,
diva, like a dickhead, like
a diva,
yeah.
and would like play music publicly completely unsolicited at any opportunity.
Fuck
And
off.
there was like, I've seen this thing before. There was a Facebook page that people from her school had started called whatever her real name is. I can't remember. Something very Italian.
Right.
Say like Sarah D'Amelio, you will never be famous.
Really? As a Facebook page. Oh
and
my
she
God.
completely fucking shoved
To
that
be
shit in
fair,
their face.
like, she
and
did.
became like the most famous person on the planet.
Absolutely. And she just
Fair
came out with
play
a
to
track recently that slapped again. You know, I haven't heard from her in however many years, and she came out again, and straight away it was charting. And fair play to her. She whatever. I think like I'm not saying I'm a big fan of hers or whatever, but and people do get their nose out of shape when people are like swimming upstream. But she's obviously got something special. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And as you touched on, like we see a lot of people in the music industry that may not be the most talented in the world, but there is no doubt in anybody's minds that Lady Gaga is one of the most talented pop stars that we've seen in generations, decades. One of the interesting tidbits I have is that she wrote a song for Britney Spears. It was called Telephone.
Big song.
But Britney Spears' label turned it down, and that song ended up being taken back, and Lady Gaga had Beyonce on the feature, and it became one of Lady Gaga and Beyonce's biggest songs.
Was that the one they did that crazy music video for? That was like the whole thing was like 10 minutes or whatever, and there was a big long like intro precursor, and they're like on the road on Highway 60 or something. Like, do you know what I mean? And this very
so.
like stylized. That was like the
Yeah.
first kind of real music video I'd seen in a long time. Like, and it was very emblematic
It
at
was
the
sick.
time. Yeah, it's very very good.
Yeah. And I've heard that isn't that song only called Telephone in North America? In Europe, it's called Chinese Whispers.
Very good.
That's clever. That's clever. Let's keep moving through the playlist. So,
Yeah.
we had Trio 3 with Katy Perry. They were short-lived, that Trio 3 band. Black Eyed Peas, Meet Me Halfway. So this is 2010. So this is probably towards the end of Black Eyed
Their
Peas.
dominance, yeah.
Well, not even dominance, but their career as that collective. Because I think it was 2011 when they actually split up. Well, they went into this hiatus, which was indefinite. So yeah, we at this point, this Meet Me Halfway was on the End album, and then they released one more album after that in 2011.
I marked the P's by 2008 because of Fergie saying, "I'm so 2008, you're so 2000 and late." And so, like, for me, I always think that was like peak time. They were in power,
Yes.
they had a reign which started with "Where Is the Love," which just had everybody like in their feels, and for a while they were completely dominant. Do you know what I mean? Like Lady Gaga in a different way.
Yeah,
And then they went full pop at a certain
They did,
stage
yeah.
instead of, because it used to be like a very respected rap collective, given mostly before they replaced the previous female lead with
Fergie.
And I don't know who she was, but she was really good at rapping. Fergie's all right at rapping, but then they took a very pop approach rather than hip hop based.
yeah.
Do you guys remember there used to be this DJ called DJ Earworm, who every year at the end of the year would come up with a mega mash of all the popular songs from that year, and it would just fucking bang.
Yeah.
And the one I always remembered is the one that was mainly based on Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, I mean that was the mix.
2009.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, and I used to really look forward to those as well. It was a great like whistle stop tour through the years, you know, best tunes, and he had a great way of stitching it together where it was just the whole thing was a vibe, you know, and it really was very like exciting to listen to. Do you know what I mean?
Go listen to that, listeners out there. It's called the United States of Pop series, and it has like whatever year it is. So United States of Pop 2009, I think we're thinking of, but it's whatever one has the Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling on it.
Yeah, I think they peaked personally around that End album when they had Boom Boom Pow and I Got a Feeling. Personally, I think that was like the peak, and then it kind of fell off a small bit. But it was a very steep drop because only a year later they kind of went to a
They're on the
hiatus.
downward turn now, yeah.
Well, I am driving like Jetsons cars.
Next track is JLS, Everybody in Love, collective of boys doing what boys do best, sing and
Jack the
dance.
Lad Swing. JLS
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
apparently, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, but apparently, like, I mean, I think they saw it on a headline in a newspaper or something like that. But it's hard to apply to an actual meaning. But JLS is a definite throwback and a definitive group of that era. Like you know, I mean, perhaps again tailing out by 2010. I'm not sure. It kind of feels like that. But yeah, again,
JLS were X Factor. Can you correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong? I think, and they kind of feel like they were a precursor to One Direction.
Definitely,
JLS
yeah.
walked so that One Direction could
fly. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right. I like JLS were one of the first really successful collectives from that kind of industry or whatever. Obviously, like you say, but like by the time One Direction came through the halls, it was like it was set for them to be a mega smash. You know what I mean? But by the time JLS were doing it, it was all about solo artists, and even kind of like getting big as a group through that medium was unheard of almost. You know, very very challenging. But they did it. They did it very very well. You know, they did it very very well. Fair play to them. Hey, shout out to
Yeah.
JLS.
They did a great No Air cover.
Yeah, I can't say the whole boy band thing took me, but you were probably a little more exposed to it, Danders, having two older sisters, right?
Having pirate.
Yeah, and a paddy cap. I was ready made
Yes.
and a cardigan. Yeah. So my older sister definitely, we would have had the boy zones and the fives just kind
Yeah.
of around the place. Not that necessarily that it was her thing specifically, but we were very conscious of that when I was younger. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Next track on the playlist is Aya's Replay. That whole Caribbean
belter.
vibe. That was short lived, but it was huge. That Aya's with Sean Kingston and Sean Paul, and
Yeah.
all those boys.
Yeah.
Was it short-lived, or was it again a precursor to the kind of dancehall vibes that are very popular now? Do you know, and a lot of reggaeton and the influence coming through from Middle and South America, like Bad Bunny is one of the
Sure,
biggest.
yeah.
Is probably the biggest artist in the world.
I
Right
don't
now.
know if you can attribute the huge success of that to these kind of things, because these were
I'm not attributing it. I'm just saying that that was one of the first times that
maybe, I guess,
in my lifetime where people were tuning into that style of music that's not straight up pop from America or from the UK or
I
whatever.
mean, it'd
Yeah,
be very
I
common
guess
in the UK for like in kind of garage reggae fusion kind of in the 90s and noughties. It'd be very common to hear the kind of reggaeton jungle beats and like very, very sort of edgy Jamaican sounds. I can't think of the right terms now, but that would have been extremely common in like London, especially. And it almost felt like a flavor of that kind of, like the way Drake got really, really absorbed in that stuff. It almost felt like that was influential for the that like Ayaz and sort of Shaggy outbreak.
Shaggy, well, Shaggy was like, a while beforehand that, but yeah.
Shaggy was way ahead of his time. But also, just to come back to the Ayaz track for a sec, that was a belter. And me and Dino even, like, I remember we loved that song in school together. Like, it was a great tune. And I did have it on replay, Ayaz. I really did. Like, it was
I'm in the kitchen cooking things
she likes. That was a, it was a super vibe. We had it on replay. So fair play to you, Ayaz.
Yeah, the next track is a track I know you both also love. It's Tiny Tempa, Pass Out.
That's a 2010 belter. Like, when you think of that, yeah, exactly. Kato, come in. Like, it's so that is 2010 to me. We did that previously on the kind of millennial jackass thing. Like that represents that moment, that era to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The song was originally made using GarageBand, apparently.
Oh, sick.
Which is kind of cool.
He has a great voice too. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck are these people listening to? Yeah, Dewey Pass. But it really grows on you.
Super cool song. I am.
He's a cool guy.
We could stop and talk about all these songs, so I'm gonna keep us moving swiftly.
Yeah,
onwards.
Dave. I was just gonna say, there's like 50 songs on this.
I want to keep us moving.
Are you going through all 50 songs?
I don't want to stop and talk about all of them.
So the plan is to go through 50 songs.
Well, there's other stuff as well, but
oh Jesus Christ, even worse. WhatsApp's first 5-hour long
we'll keep
podcast.
our opinions to a minimum. Good, next.
We had Kesha, TikTok, Timbaland, If We Ever Meet Again, Jason
that
Derulo.
one, I do want to stop on that one for 1 second. I'm sorry.
And actually, Kesha.
Yeah. But like, If We Ever Meet Again, it was big at the time. I still think it's underrated. Like, I think it's like a perfectly engineered pop like banger. I think that Timbaland was formulaic in terms of how he knew how to lay it out, what people would like. An earworm, like you were saying earlier about DJ Earworm. And I still think that song is gets people jumping in the club, and I think that it hasn't been killed because of being kind of cliched by overplayed necessarily in my head, but love that song. Anyway, carry on.
And Kesha actually is sick as well in terms of the formula. She is like this like highly intelligent person who isn't this character that she portrays in her music at all, like this like drunk party girl, but she's putting on a character because that is what she knows is going to sell, and her songs that she makes, it's just completely formulaic.
And
she dipped in, she's sold huge, she dipped the fuck out, and she's living her best life. And she's been on interviews and radio and television shows in more recent years, and people are like,
really? I'd love to look into that.
This is what Kesha is like? What the fuck? We thought she was dumb as shit, but she's just like so articulate and just like, very
emblematic at the time as well. And TikTok predated TikTok, I believe. You know, that was, but yeah, that's very interesting. I'll have to look up those interviews now.
Interesting. I'd love to know if there are any more artists that did that and people are unaware, but they kind of dipped in, made their song, portrayed a character that wasn't them whatsoever, and then dipped out, as in like purely played the game.
Well, Shaggy's got an American accent.
Yeah, and people might not know that Drake isn't actually black.
The next track we have is In My Head by Jason Derulo. We have Rude Boy.
Sorry,
don't be blaming me for jacking on. You're stopping me at every fucking...
In My Head is such a good tune. We used to jam to that
Jason
one downstairs all the time.
Yeah.
And we used to like wait for like the breakdown, the bridge, and then try to hit that high note when he goes like,
we had Rude Boy by Rihanna. We had Chipmunk with Taylor Riley.
Erstwhile Chipmunk, now Chip.
Chipmunk, yeah, Look For Me. We have the Glee cast, the cast of Glee doing Don't Stop Believing. One of the
it was a great song.
misconceptions is that song was brought back by being played at the season finale of Sopranos. It wasn't that. It was the Glee cast brought that song back to the forefront and then made it the sing-along. The sing-along must-have that we know it to be.
Because it's a 70s
today.
jam, you're right, but everyone knows it now. Like, it's just one that anyone can sing along to. Yeah.
It's huge. It actually features, the original as well features on the second the second CD of this.
I never knew.
compilation.
Oh,
I never
nice.
knew that the first was the hits and the second was the maybe more hard hitting was or something. So that was an interesting tidbit for me that you said there.
Yeah, they always kind of push boundaries a small bit with the second CD, but the first CD is always like the undeniable massive hits from that time. Gabriella Silmy, maybe On a Mission, Alexandra Burke, Broken Heels,
Chill Me.
Sugar Babes, About a Girl. Sugar Babes, as far as I know, kind of died off after that.
They died after that.
They died off after that. Saturdays, Ego. The Saturdays were a cool little vibe. Jedward, featuring Vanilla
Oh
Ice.
my god, what a time.
It tells you exactly what
Jedward were the fucking... Oh, they were so cringe.
Again, though, were they playing characters?
Man, no.
I think
No, they
not.
weren't. They did athletics growing up, and I never met them personally, but I ran with people who they were on the same club as, and according to people that did athletics with them for a few years, they were just like that in person. They were just that fucking bobblehead, gimmicky fucking...
The worst people in the fucking world.
But like the mad thing to me wasn't even that there were people like that getting on stage and singing. It was that like the girls were obsessed with them, like absolutely fawning over them. Like, I mean, that was the thing that would irritate me more than them being themselves or whatever with their incredibly tall fringes and everything. Like, it was just like, I didn't get why. I just think like there's this whole cad v lad thing that like girls just love what other girls want or something, and it's like this mob mentality. I don't know exactly what it is, but I couldn't get my head around that at that time. But I think fair play to them.
Fair play to them, but like
willing to put
it
themselves
was
out
just
there,
a bit
like,
gimmicky. And yeah, to your point, it was girls that were falling around themselves over them.
And Louis Walsh.
It was like really young girls.
But you know what? I do want to say about this time, this era, this 2010, like it was probably feels like to me toward the end of it, but X Factor is a huge theme here. You had your JLS at the start, you have your Jedward now, and later on, because obviously you made us read the track list earlier, we have Joe McElderry, which tells me and Dina roughly what time it was as well.
Yeah.
But so all of that is from the same like show, the same era. This probably the exact same show, the one season of X Factor. You know, so
You might be able to correct me here. Was this around the same time as well as the JLS Ice Bucket Challenge?
Moving swiftly onwards.
It was to support cardigans.
Moving swiftly onwards, we had Justin
Pirate
Bieber
Boots.
one time. We had
Great song. His
we had
first
Jay
big hit.
Sean featuring Sean Paul and Lil Jon. Do you remember? This was when Jay Sean had signed to Cash Money Records, which was short-lived. We had Pixie Lott, Cry Me Out, and Joe McElderry, The Climb, and the last track on CD1 we had Helping Haiti, Everybody Hurts. So Helping Haiti was a supergroup that was brought together for one charity single. Some of the artists included Sugar Babes, Boyzone, Westlife, Alexandra Burke,
Right.
Pixie Lott, Ronan Keating, Leona Lewis, JLS, McFly, Diana Vickers, and The Saturdays.
So kind of like a modern Band-Aid.
Anybody who was mildly
and like
famous
less
in
about the
2010 was on
specific
it.
track, because that does happen periodically for the Live Aids and the Band Aids and the Helping Haiti, but like more the Haiti tsunami itself, like that it was a real moment of 2010 that like everyone jumped on board with. So again, that kind of brings me right back to that era, that moment. Just thinking about that Helping Haiti thing, how that was a big thing.
It was huge.
Was the Japanese tsunami wasn't too long after that then, right?
Yeah, that sounds right to me. They were pretty quick after each other, I think.
Jesus.
And now it feels like there's way more disasters than like, maybe it's just because we're more plugged in.
Yeah.
But like there's just one there in Jamaica that's just absolutely made shit of Katrina apparently, and Katrina was crazy big, and it just feels like maybe it's more to the fact that global warming and climate change is actually kind of creating a lot more of these occurrences. But anyway, we remember the good times in 2010. We
Yeah,
have fun.
absolutely. And let's in between the two CDs, let's do a quick Where Are They Now. So what's interesting about Jay Sean, right? Pick Jay Sean at random because I think it's kind of cool. It actually had a pretty smart career pivot. He had two massive worldwide hits, which was Eyes on You and Ride It. They went number one in the US. He signed to Cash Money right before Cash Money Records became what it was that we knew for the following 5 or 6 years. And instead of chasing Another Down, which was arguably one of his biggest hits, he walked away from it. The label wanted Another Down, but he said he wanted to be himself. He wanted to make music. He didn't want to be chasing chart numbers, statistics. He wanted to make music. So he stopped trying to impress in America, which was honestly pretty respectable. I thought.
Big deal.
So what's he doing now?
Right now he's touring. He's touring internationally.
Oh, okay.
He went back to his kind of R&B roots after he left Cash
Yeah.
Money, and yeah, he has a really loyal fan
Nice.
base.
Really reminds me of Akon.
Yeah, yeah.
The huge move that and Akon again very big at the 2010 the noughties or whatever, the 2010s, very big for us. But similar to me, it was just like drop that, walk away, do what matters to you. Do you know what I mean? So,
Whoa, Danders, you just wrote a hit. Drop that, walk away.
do what matters to you.
We used to sing all the time. Baby, are you Danders?
Yeah, this is why I love doing podcasts like these, because before doing this podcast, I just assumed Jay Sean just fell into obscurity. But you learn something about these artists, and it's really good to see.
We also used to go Jay Sean. Totally unnecessarily.
And with that being said, we are going to take a little break, and we will see you after these short commercials. Welcome back to Now That's What We Call Podcasting. Moving on to CD2. As mentioned, CD1 was typically the massive chart-topping, more crowd-pleasing songs, but CD2 generally dared to be more, with club tunes, edgier songs. I wonder, is it to mimic kind of a B-side kind of vibe that you would have had back in the cassette tape era? But let's have a look at this track list. So we started off with kind of, it's not even the original Empire State of Mind, it's a part 2. It's Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind broken down. It was more of a piano kind of softer version of the song. Alicia Keys was where in her career was she at this point? She was kind of, I think she was kind of later.
Feels like a dip toward the end, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
But after Empire State of Mind, that was like a huge smash.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That was huge.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
huge.
She's top of the world.
Yeah. And the next track then was Owl City Fireflies. Remember this song particularly because of
Great
the sample in the background brings me right back to that era.
This was one that like I found before it charted. Do you know when that happens? And so I remember like I discovered it at the bus stop, and I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna be into this, but I really dig it or whatever. And then obviously it blew up, and yeah. So
Yeah, no, it was huge. It was a great song. The next track was Jay-Z and Mr. Hudson, Young Forever. I think this is off the Blueprint 3. This was kind of, I don't know, Jay-Z was kind of doing some different shit with his flows and kind of cadence in this album. I wasn't too impressed with it, but this song was great. Young Forever was a classic song. It was actually used in a lot of dance music decades previous.
Mm-hmm.
The next track we had was Cheryl Cole and Will.i.am, 3 words. The next track after that was Robbie Williams, You Know Me. Did you guys see the Robbie Williams biopic?
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
The one where he's like a animated monkey.
chimp.
Yeah. And when I first heard that, I was like, oh, what kind of bullshit is this? When I watched it, it was actually very well done, very entertaining movie. I like Robbie Williams anyway. I've always had a soft spot for Robbie Williams and his music. But yeah, I think we discussed it on the pod, on a previous pod, blew me away that he's not as popular internationally as he was in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
No, people don't even know him over here.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was the funny thing apparently about that documentary, was that like all the Americans were like, what? Like who's this chimp guy? It's supposed to be a biopic, is it? Because they hadn't a clue who he was. And that I didn't realize that either. I thought he was a global sensation, you know.
He played that icon character so well
Mm-hmm.
in the UK that everyone just assumed he was an icon internationally, which is crazy work really when you think about it.
There's a really cool picture that like just shows two huge worlds colliding that have nothing really to do with each other. It's Tupac and Robbie Williams at a party sitting outside together, like looking like they're both like
way.
smoking, and they look like really drunk, and they have like their arms around each other, deep in
That sounds
conversation. Look it
cool.
up. It's
Gotta
awesome.
look at that. I will. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, funny stuff. The next tune is Journey, Don't Stop Believing. So this is the original Don't Stop Believing. Again, repopularized by the Glee cast and became the sing-along that we know today. Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over. So like the Dog Days Are Over is the kind of song that makes you want to run out into a field with a tambourine while everybody else is still trying to figure out if Lady Gaga is a boy or a girl, which I thought was a crazy era. Remember that when everyone thought she was like, she might be hermaphrodite, she might be... Do you remember this?
Oh, that rings a bell.
It only rings a bell. That was a big conversation at the time. But Florence and the Machine were great. They were really like they were one of those bands that kind of created a sound that brings you right back to that time, right? Similar to, as I said, with Fireflies, but Florence was obviously a bigger machine than
there it is.
than Owl City
Pod
was.
Pro.
Next song was Marina and the Diamonds, Hollywood. Ellie Goulding, Starry Eyed. I think this is her debut song.
She was cool. I like Ellie.
Ellie Goulding was cool, man. Yeah. She was. I think this was her debut song. She went on to do songs with like Calvin Harris and I think David Guetta
and Tiny Tempa.
Tiny Tempa, yeah. Huge star.
That one, I'm a Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Is that one that Ellie Goulding?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments. The next tune. The next tune is Biffy Clyro, Many of Horror. I remember this song was very well respected when it came out.
Yeah, I liked Biffy at the time, definitely. And they've just kind of had a mini comeback. Like, I think they played Glastonbury this year, and they've been kind of big again this year a little bit. And that's the first time in 15 years.
So it's a band.
Huh?
It's not just Biffy Clyro isn't one guy.
No, it's a band. Yeah. Was I saying him?
No. I'm asking you. I don't know.
It's a band. Yeah.
So it's like the opposite to Tame Impala, which people think is a band, but that's actually just one guy.
The fun fact for Many of Horror: the song was actually released in the previous year in February, but got a huge resurgence when Matt McCardle sang it in the X Factor.
Yeah,
I remember
X
that.
Factor.
To your point about the X Factor being such a huge element in music at this time. And yeah, it's pretty crazy how shows like that can have an impact on the chart music. Not only giving bands a break, but like bringing songs that would have been lesser known back to the forefront, or even to the forefront for the first time. And we saw this with Many of Horror.
We I listened back over some of our old ones recently, and we were talking about the Christmas #1, and basically like X Factor was fodder for Christmas #1. Like, it was assumed basically that the winner of X Factor would win the #1. It was a very rare occurrence that didn't happen. You know what I mean? So
unless there was some kind of, like, protest vote.
Yeah, twisting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was it was kind of like implicit in winning the competition was also getting to win the Christmas #1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next song was Plan B, Stay Too Long. Plan B had a crazy trajectory to go from doing kind of gritty rap music to singing in what was this? Is it something? Strickland Banks was his album, something, and that was a great album. And he kind of, I think after that he got kind of sick of being a celebrity, sick of the fame, and kind of dipped off of the pedestal that he was on after that album. But you know, like, fame isn't for everybody, but you got to respect the music he did was pretty good. The next song was Naughty Boy with Wiley and Emily Sandé, Never Be Your Woman.
I don't remember that one.
But like Naughty Boy and Wiley, this is a testament to what I was saying about the CD2 pushing boundaries. Like, you wouldn't have a song like that you wouldn't have Wiley on the first CD. It just wouldn't work. The next tune was Riverside, Motherfucker.
That was a belter.
Yeah.
You feel that. Anyone who was around at that time still feels that in their bones, man. When that comes on, everyone's moving. That was a great tune.
Yeah, that was by Sidney Sampson and featuring Wizard Sleeve. It gave us iconic lyrics such as walked in the club, forgot my swag, but it's okay, I got a chick to bang.
We live our lives by those words.
Oh man, I was re-listening to the song and I heard that come on. I was like, what the fuck were these guys talking about? And we were like, what, 16, fucking screaming it in a U Club disco like this is fucking the sickest thing in the world. Walked in the club, forgot my swag. How do you forget your swag? That's a bit fucking...
He was already naked.
Yeah, he was already naked. Next song was Example, Won't Go Quietly. Example was huge around this time. Another guy that kind of dipped off for a brief period. He wanted to raise his child. He got kind of sick of the fame, and he went into kind of dad mode for a few years. And then when he's kind of come back now, but he's gotten, like, I don't know, he's got a residency in some nightclub or some bullshit.
But, like,
he was able to come back in no problem, and like people lapped it up. And I get it. He was fucking Example was sick.
You've got to respect Example, man. Like, he knew what he was about, and he was a bit of a laugh as well, and he was talented, man. Like, he's good, cool guy. I feel cool guy. You got to respect Example.
Yeah, 100%. The next track was Gramophone Edsy, Why Don't You? Lamar, What The Way Love Goes. The next track was N-Dubs and Mr. Hudson again, Playing With Fire. N-Dubs was a bit of a vibe at the time, kind of like the UK's answer to Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, I remember N-Dubs had us in a chokehold for a little while. Danders, maybe you'd understand that a little more than Dino would, but how N-Dubs had the kind of young music scene in the UK for a little while.
I wasn't as plugged in, but like having come over here, been living here for the past few years, you see those echoes, like, because when me and Dino, we kind of thought that maybe they were a bit of a joke or something, like they had Dappy, and we didn't know if it was a gimmick or something, but like over here, it was like a religion for a second, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, Dave, like they were huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed their stuff. It was kind of like they were finding like new sounds and stuff that, you know, we wouldn't have otherwise heard in grime or pop, and it was kind of hitting it right in the middle, which I thought was really cool, and probably vibed with a lot of kids as well. Like
the number one song that was a banger. I don't know that's what it's called.
With Tinchy Strider.
I don't understand how you know. That was N-Dubs and Tinchy Strider.
I think it was Tinchy Strider. Yeah. And that was
Tinchy Strider singing this song, right?
yeah, I was thinking that as well.
That's a little
in-crowd reference.
Yeah. Little inside joke there. Anyways.
Yeah, that was cool, man. They had like, if we won't do it now, but if I was to go through the list of N-Dub songs, they had some really, really great songs for that year. Short-lived, but as I said, had us in kind of a chokehold for a little bit. Next track, I know you guys love, Shitty Bang, Opposite of Adults.
Oh, what a tune.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, one hit wonder, really. I don't know what else Chitty Bang did, but like, what a great one to have, man. He stole the charts with that. Like, everyone was singing all the words. That was a flavor. Everyone loved that.
A great flip on an original great song.
Yes,
Hits by
yes,
MGMT is
absolutely.
a fucking classic.
Absolutely.
But definitely no other song he released even came close to the
Stratosphere,
length, the stratosphere. Yeah,
He was well respected in like the hip hop sphere.
Yeah.
You know, he had like a song with Big Sean.
Yeah,
he had some other notable features as well and stuff.
For sure.
He was a good rap guy.
I can't remember how he kind of dwindled out. Was it they split up? I think they split up, and he released the lead rapper released his own music after he split with, because it was him and a producer. It was him and a white guy.
Yeah, like Zafoon Jones or something.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong, but something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Next track was, and this was another group that had the world in a chokehold for a little while, was Young Money featuring Lloyd, Bedrock. Young Money was huge for a little while. Crazy stuff. Next track was McLean, My Name, and last track was Rihanna, Russian Roulette. Rihanna, yeah, fair play to Rihanna. She's on here a few times.
Yeah, Rihanna, killer.
Yeah, she was dominant, man. You know, still really is. She still has a very present, I think, like, you know, place in pop culture or whatever, you know.
Even though she doesn't
really do
make
anything
music or doesn't really do anything forward facing, people just are still so interested in everything she does because she's just such
she's an icon,
just a huge persona and star.
Yeah. But she embodies what an icon should be. People just are still obsessed over her just being her. But she's cool, and she's still with ASAP Rocky, which is pretty sick. Another iconic figure.
And she made a business, which I think is the thing to do. Like when you are famous and you have all the means and everything, do you know what's it called, Fenty or whatever, her makeup company? Which
Fentanyl. She invented.
Yeah, she invented fentanyl. Made a killing of it.
She's cool, man. She's cool.
She's cool with us. But yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do when you get those means, is to like invest in the future, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's one of the reasons she stayed current.
Either like make a clothing brand or build a city in Africa. Looking at you, Akon.
So moving swiftly onwards, because I know I'm conscious of the time. Here at Now, that's what I call a podcast, or that's what I call podcasting. We like to have a bit of fun. So with that being said, let's play a game of Now, that's what I call a foreigner. Of course.
Jesus Christ. All right, cut it. We're cutting it. We're cutting it right there. The podcast is over.
Anyway, let's play a game of Now, that's what I call a foreigner. Of course, with a compilation album such as this, there's always going to be an eclectic mix of nationalities that you can hear. So I've picked a few artists from here, and it is a task of the two boys to tell me where they are from. Like usual, it's
You might want to change
It's
the name of
direct.
this segment, Dave.
I thought
This
it was
is
really
like-
clever tongue-in-cheek.
Especially with like all of the stuff that's going on in the world right now.
You're too sensitive, man. You're too sensitive. That
Oh
will be
my
your
goodness.
that will be your downfall. So I've picked a few artists from here, and the task of the two boys is to tell me where they are from. Like usual, this is a fastest finger first kind of game. So Dino, you will be Dino, and Danders, you will be Choda, because I know you struggle with your name.
When I struggled with my name on that Choda episode, I had like a 5-syllable word that was really challenging to start with. Whereas you had like Choda.
You had Chugi Baka.
Chugi Baka. You can't come out with that quickly. Choda, Choda. So yeah, I'll take Choda this round.
You're going to be Choda this round. So, with that being said, you guys understand. Fastest finger first, say your name, and tell me where the artist is from. So, artist number 1, Rihanna.
Dino.
I forget. Sorry, that's fine for him to take the thing, but really remind me what the rules are. Sorry, because I didn't get what it was.
You have to tell me where they're from.
Oh, okay, got you.
You have to tell him where they're from and why they shouldn't be in our country.
Foreigner. Go ahead, Dino.
Barbados.
Yeah. 1 point for Dino. Number 2, Jason Derulo.
Dino.
Yep.
Nigeria.
Incorrect. Danders.
America, US.
Yay! It was a trick question. Fuck you, Dino. Yes, good job, Danders.
Yes.
Number 3, this is the artist that did Riverside, Sydney Sampson.
No idea. Dino.
Yep.
I'm going to say Jamaica.
No. Danders?
Choda, Canada. I haven't a clue.
No. Sydney Sampson, Dutch. Next artist, Ayaz.
Dino.
Yep.
Jamaica.
I don't think so, no.
St. Lucia or something like that.
Okay, so you're saying St. Lucia, Dino's saying Jamaica. I have British Virgin Islands, but I don't think they're
No, I don't
in
think
the
that's either
British-
of us, but yeah.
Yeah.
We're
it's
kind
not.
of circling
It's
the
its
ring.
own
Yeah,
sovereign.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, no point for either in that round. Next artist, Gramophone Edzi.
I don't even know who that artist is. Dino.
Yeah?
German.
No. Danders.
Canada again. Haven't a clue.
No. Next is...
Well, give us the answer.
Serbian. Gramophone
Okay,
Edzi was
okay.
Serbian. Yeah. Next one is, and this is the tiebreaker, Biffy Clyro.
Oh,
Dino.
Choda. Fuck it. Oh, annoying. I actually know this one.
You do know this one?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm just going to say the UK.
That's
Oh,
not a
it's
country.
annoying. They're Scottish, I'm pretty sure, aren't they? But that is in the UK. It is in the UK.
The
Yeah,
UK
yeah.
is
I'm not
Scotland.
accepting UK.
Like geographically, Dave, the UK is.
Yeah,
the-
I know. I understand. Don't explain to me like I'm 5. I understand, but I'm not
It's fair
accepting
for-
it because it's
you-
not correct.
He said more. He could have said more detail, which I think is fine. Do you know what I mean?
So
Because,
I don't think Danders can get that point. I don't think so. I
Scotland is the
technically had it
country.
correct.
Okay. So that means we have a tie. And the tiebreaker question is, name one artist that appears more than once on this album.
Choda, Rihanna. Boom.
Hey,
Hey.
Choda takes it.
Suck it, Dan. Oh, he's not going to be happy now for the rest of the day.
No, he won't like that.
I said you got there first, but also I think
See you next week, everybody.
I think you did get there first, but I also think it was fair for Dave to say more information. They do that on quiz shows all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, unfortunately, that is all we have time for this week. Now, that's what I call podcasting. Big thank you to my co-hosts, Dino and Shoda Banks. Tune in next week, and we are going to take a look at Now That's What I Call Music 76. Over and out, and have a great week.
Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast. We're going to take that and rewind it back because David Hogan has a podcast to make the WSSAP listeners' booties go,
Wow, wow.
whoa, whoa. Great podcast, Davey. And
Something.
just out of interest, can you pull up a few of the songs that were on 76?
76. I
Just
sure
just
can.
a quick few.
Okay, I'm going to pick a few at random and just kind of run through them. So we had Katy Perry and Snoop Dogg, California Girls.
Oh,
Enrique Iglesias, Pitbull, I Like It. JLS again, The Club's Alive. Usher and Will I Am, Oh My God. Oh My God. What a huge song. Professor Green and Lily Allen, Just Be Good to Green.
yes.
We had B.O.B. Got nothing on you, baby.
This is really interesting how in the space of time between 75 and 76, there was this major shift to hip hop and like hip hop included in pop, because 75 had some hip hop, but mainly pop songs. All the ones you mentioned are almost all pop star plus hip hop star.
Well, now we're 2011, so we're in the next decade.
Well, we're not.
So
We're
it's
not.
like-
We're not 2011. We're actually, so 75 was released in February 2010.
And it was like 6 months after.
Or sorry, it was March 2010. This was July 2010. So it was only about
Jeez.
2 months later.
A couple of months later. Man,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Great year for music. So now I'll keep going. Just Be Good to Green, Nothing on You, Alejandro by Lady Gaga,
Nice.
Parachute by Cheryl Cole, J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Te Amo by Rihanna, Good Times by Roll Deep. Gonna keep going. We Know Speak Americano,
Oh,
which was
big tune.
It was a huge song. Eeny Meeny by Sean Kingston and Justin Bieber.
I feel like we're still in the episode now. This is
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what's happening.
Yeah.
Dave's got into list mode. His eyes are glazing over. Someone needs to stop him.
Just a few more. Solo by Ayaz.
Okay, you have two more after that. Solo, and then you have two
Okay,
more.
let me pick some good ones from CD2. So we had Example and The Love Kick Starts Again.
Oh, yeah.
Tune.
Big tune.
Big tune.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
tune.
yeah.
Big tune.
And one more, we had Hey Soul Sister.
Oh, Train.
Yeah, very
Nice.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
that was Train's comeback.
Yeah. Fair play. to
Big
him.
comeback.
Dino was an old school Train lover. You had a big, you had a soft spot for it.
Are you calling me autistic? Oh, Dino's an old school Train
He's an old school
lover.
Train lover. All the way. I can't remember what was their old big song.
Drops of Jupiter was the big one. Great song. But for now, we're not going to dive into any more songs from 76 because we are moving swiftly along to Now That's What I Call Music 77.
Give us the list.
Put it up, Jamie.
No. As always, now is the time where we critique Now That's What I Call Podcasting, using the classic podcast rating system based on 3 criteria. And those 3 criteria are: number 1, concept or the general idea of the show. Number 2 is longevity, which begs the question, do we think the show has legs to grow? And number 3, and probably most importantly, is pod sauce. Pod sauce is the je ne sais quoi flair or spice to the podcast that makes it a winner. Pod sauce could be literally anything you enjoyed from the pod or something you think gave the pod some extra flav. This week's pod sauce segment is sponsored by Now That's What I Call Horseradish, the WSSAP equivalent in the sauce game, a niche indulgence that you're scared to share with your family and friends. So, after discussing these 3 criteria, we will each give our final rating of this week's podcast. Will Now That's What I Call Podcasting be a smash hit, or should we in fact trash it? Dave, I'll let you take us through the ratings. Go ahead, baby boy.
Thank you, Dino. So for the concept of Now That's What I Call Podcasting, let's start with you, Choda. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little unclear on the concept. Is it a now That's What I Call Music album review show? Like, is that the idea?
Like, yeah, kind of, but like it's more than just reviewing the songs. I know we got hung up on the songs themselves a lot because this is the first time doing it, but I also want to allow space for kind of bring people back to that era. That's why before we started unboxing the album, I was kind of talking about what were you guys doing in 2010? Like what kind of clothes, fashion, drama, anything that was popping back then. It's about like kind of a time capsule more than anything. And these albums serve as a phenomenal time capsule. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all compilation music albums, I guess.
I really enjoyed it in exactly that spirit, Dave. I think, like you were talking about smells, I don't know, was it this episode or the last one, but you were saying how great a kind of a memory adjunct they are. And I definitely feel the same way about this reflection on this era with the music that was around at the time. Like, it's a lot of fun to take yourself back to that time and what you were doing with your pals and you know, just the vibe and feeling of being around that music and being that age again in that time and space. So I really enjoyed it. Like, I had a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people who could connect with that music would as well, definitely.
Absolutely. And as well, the timing is quite fortunate. This will be released in January, maybe early February. I can't remember.
Are they still making nows? Are they still making now albums?
Oh, well, that's a question for longevity, isn't it?
I think they are, though.
I think they are as well.
Anyway, concept. Dino.
A little pivot here. I know Dander's talked about smells. We could do a podcast where we review all the best smells from 2010.
Now that's what I call dog shit.
But yeah, so just to clarify a few things for me, Dave, here. So each episode would be diving into a particular now album. So like in the podcast, it would be Now That's What I Call Podcasting, and it would be 75 or whatever. Then the next episode would be 76, 77, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we could do it that way, or as we've noticed, the gap between 75 and 76 was only about 2 or 3 months. So we could compile one or two, maybe 3 of the nows into one podcast, but we would have to be very strict on like how many songs we stop and chat about. But I think it could be done. But I mean, that would only be to ensure that each podcast has a different vibe. Like if we were to do 76 on the next podcast, then there's a lot of overlap. There's another Ayaz song. There's more Rihanna songs. There's more fucking Mr. Hudson, things like that on the next one. So we'd be just talking about the same thing.
Yeah, we're telling the same stories about Danders wearing pirate boots.
Which will never get old, arguably. But we have to try and keep it fresh each podcast.
That was the summer he started watching Peaky Blinders and Pirates of the Caribbean. Kind of mixed his references.
Yeah, my legs were swashbuckling in my arms, and head were I don't know what they were doing in Peaky Blinders.
Is it too scary for you, Danders, Peaky Blinders?
I wanted to watch it. I started watching it with my ex-partner, but she just like, we watched the first episode and she wasn't really interested. Like, I don't know, she just, not that I just, you know, one of those ones where you just say, not today kind of thing, you know. She just wanted to watch something else, and we just never really got back around to it. But I would have really loved to watch it, and still might do someday. I watched the first couple episodes, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, so in summation, I really like the concept of Peaky Blinders, Dave. I think it's a great show, and I think Dander should watch it. And also your podcast. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Just let's cut in there. You need to watch all of Peaky Blinders, man. This is...
Yeah, I will. I have a lot of things I need to watch a lot of. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, but that should be top of the list, man. That's an amazing series.
MILF Manor
anyway, moving on. Longevity of Now That's What I Call Podcasting. Let's start with you, Dino, this time.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it a little bit there. They are still making these now albums, so we can continue this as long as they continue to do that. Whether we will be as invested in the newer albums that are coming out is another question. I don't know if we're going to have much to say about the top however many songs that are in these albums now, because as you get older, you just kind of get attached to nostalgia and the songs that you liked at a certain time, or maybe even more just ingrained in a certain style of music, and you're no longer following the charts like you used to. So I think I would have very little to say about the new now albums.
You could argue that with considering our pacing, by the time we get to those new albums, those songs will be 15 years old anyway.
That's
so
true.
we'll be able to, it's all reminiscence, man.
That's
all
true.
reminiscence.
That's true.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Danders, what are we thinking about longevity for Now That's What I Call Podcasting?
I pretty much had the same thought that you just kind of captured there, Dave, because as Dina was saying, the sentimentality of it was really part of the joy factor for this episode. But it isn't like you would boost through the first 75, 76 and then find a cadence of once every 3 or 4 or 6 months. Like you would probably start at the start, and then you're talking about like our parents' generation or even older than that, you know what I mean? And so that's a different conversation, which would be very stimulating and interesting. If you're having an episode a month, you know, you could take a huge amount of time, years to get to 75 and onwards, even, you know, to today. So I think it's very cadence dependent, but I think then even you could pivot. Like, I know they've done a lot of now specials, like Now That's What I Call Christmas, and Now That's What I Call whatever, you know, they've a bunch of different spin-offs. So I think even being more creative with the concept, you could take it in a lot of directions. So I'm going to say that there is some longevity there, although it is a bit of a caveat.
Sure. Thanks for that, guys. The next part would be our pod sauce. Let's start with you, Choda.
Maybe it sounds a bit pedestrian. My pod sauce was you teaching me the disc two. Yeah, the disc two is like the more kind of hard hitting stuff, and the disc one is the chart toppers. I found that an interesting tidbit. As an honorable mention, I also enjoyed the quiz section at the end. Really, and got Dina real riled up as well, which is always a bonus. But
what can I say? I'm too woke for my own good.
Yeah, there were some other trivia questions I had in the bank ready to go, but I was quite conservative time. It did take us a long while to unbox the album and go through the track list and stuff. But had we a feature length podcast, maybe we'd be able to get through more trivia. And also more where are they nows, which I thought was I had like a whole I had a whole where they now done for Chipmunk, which I thought was a really interesting one.
I would have loved that. Yeah,
even me personally,
like from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, where is he now?
yeah. So maybe another time. But we definitely wouldn't have had time to do it. Dino, what was your pod sauce?
My pod sauce was the nostalgia that came along with this podcast. In particular, I completely forgot about Dander's pirate booth, Paddy Cap era, and that's giving me endless amounts of joy today on this scary Sunday as I'm gearing up for work tomorrow. That's gonna bring me through the week.
That's good. Yeah. No, I had I had looked at a few different Now albums and I landed on this one because of the time frame that it was in. I thought it was perfect. Maybe a testament to what you had said at the start of the podcast, where 2010 was the year where people became interested in music. So maybe that's why I remember this year as or this particular Now album as, oh shit, every song on here, bar maybe 2 or 3, is a banger that I remember very vividly. But thanks, guys. That was the concept, longevity, and pod sauce. The next section is the overall rating of Now That's What I Call Podcasting. Should we trash it, or is it a certified smash hit? Dino, what do you think?
Dave, now that is actually what I call podcasting. It is an absolute smash hit for me.
Thanks, buddy.
New sound alert. We're doing applause today. Cut. All right. Continue.
Danders, what are you thinking for the final rating?
Well, you have to remember, Dave, obviously there's only so many Now albums out there, and you did kind of just list off 100 tracks.
What's Dave going to list this week?
But I super enjoyed reflecting on it like Dino, and for me it was a massive smash hit. Absolutely had a great time with you guys. Thank you for that, Dave. What are you doing, you fucking cuck?
Awesome. Thanks for that, guys.
Snuck it in there.
Well, guys, you heard it from me, you heard it from Danders, and we know what Dave thinks about his own podcast. With a resounding positive response, Now That's What I Call Podcasting is a certifiable smash hit. Maybe we can sneak WSSAP into the new CD. I don't know if they're taking podcast submissions on the Now albums. What do we think? Maybe not.
Track 1. Now That's What I Call Podcasting.
This track is fucking 2 hours long. What the fuck? But guys, at WSSAP, we like to hedge our bets. So until we can get this bad boy into production, we are going to continue plotting, pitching, and of course podding until we are certain we have the next pod smash on our hands. Any closing words, boys, before we close this shit out? As usual, that is a resounding no. So you heard it here first. Listen out for Now That's What I Call Podcasting coming soon exclusively to your new guilty pleasure, the Now That's What I Call Horseradish podcast app. If you think that we should start Now That's What I Call Podcasting, please rate, subscribe, and let us know at WSSAP Official on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. That is WSSAP Official on Instagram and X. We are inches away from a huge idea, and you can tune in again next week to hear us pitch that next hit show. And next week, we're going to be even further into the future in 2026, so you can look forward to probably a completely futuristic, wacky new idea. But until that time comes, folks, please keep your ear to the grindstone and remember the profound words of pop sensation Lady Gaga that have become a bit of a mantra amongst WSSAP listeners. And Lady Gaga said, "Rah rah, ah ah ah, Roma, Roma, Gaga, ooh la la. Want your bad podcast." See you next time, folks.